program. I introduce you to the very first Dubai Scholars Inter-Class Debate Competition among the Year 11 students. And please note that this is our second debate session. This competitive debating aims for an activity where students examine ideas and policies with the focus of persuading people within an organized structure. This permits students to consider the world around them and think about divergent arguments, engaging with opposing views, and speaking strategically. This debate consists of speakers that alternate between the two sides, and note that each of the teams have a specific role in the debate. I now take this opportunity to initiate the two teams that are discussing for and against the topic love marriage versus arranged marriage. Introducing Team 1 from 11A, that is for the topic arranged marriage. The members are Ahmed Rayan Abbasi, Daksh Dhawani, Sundus Ahmed, Zoya Ahmed, Nakia Shakir, and Farhan Abdul Wahid. And Team 2 from 11C, that is for the topic love marriage. Introducing members Hassan Ali Khimani, Ria Shaw, Angelina Mendonça, Nimra Ilyas, Tivana Ranvir, and Mohammad Yusuf Ghaziani. Now welcoming our two judges, Mr. Lovejoy Pinto and Mrs. Suzanne Rodriguez. Moving on, there are a few rules and regulations that must be kept in mind at all times. Rule number 1, the teams must stick to the time limit given to them. Rule number 2, no cross-talking will be entertained between the two teams or in the audience. Rule number 3, decorum must be present at all times during the session. Rule number 4, judges must also note that if the students exceed the time limit, negative marks shall be allowed. Rule number 5, the judge must base his or her decision entirely on the material presented without regard of other knowledge that he or she may happen to possess. Rule number 6, team members, please note that the first bell will be heard at 30 seconds and the second when the time has elapsed. Now I invite the speaker from Team 1 from 11A to give their opening statement.
Good morning, teachers, students, and my worthy opponents. My team firmly believes that arranged marriages are more plentiful in benefits than love marriages for the various reasons that will follow. I would first like to begin with a proper description of an arranged marriage. According to the Oxford Dictionary, an arranged marriage is one that is planned and agreed upon by the families or guardians of the couple concerned. Therefore, through this way, it is evident that an arranged marriage is not necessarily a union that is imposed upon the couple by the families. Rather, it is a union that has been agreed upon by all the parties concerned. With this, I commence the explication of my previously mentioned statement. Arranged marriages indeed possess a plethora of advantages. Primarily, it is accepted in the society as it lends creditability and social recognition for a secured conjugal life. There is better adjustment with the in-laws and inter-family relations. It is easier to achieve financial assistance from parents in times of dire need, as the family, relatives, and friends wholeheartedly accept the marriage, in comparison to love marriages, wherein a majority could result in arguments within the family and even elopement. According to statistics verified by the UNICEF, Human Rights Council, and ABC News, the average global divorce rate for arranged marriage is only 4%. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, only 4%. Compare this to the divorce rate for love marriages, which reaches a staggering 55%. Furthermore, I would like to point out that India has 90% arranged marriages, and yet it has the lowest divorce rates in the entire world, reaching only 1.1%. To conclude my speech, we strongly regard arranged marriages as more suitable because, and I quote, a great marriage doesn't happen because of the love you had in the beginning, but how well continue to love until the end.
We believe that love is an integral part of marriage. And having it pressure into someone is just not ethical. In today's world, love marriage is a relatively new concept. The whole essence of it depends on partners falling in love with each other and getting married on this basis. We believe that love marriages are better because it is ultimately about the relationship of the two people who are getting involved. It is not possible for other people to know what kinds of people belong together. And that is what it all boils down to. The freedom of being able to pick your own partner instead of having to accept one is what makes marriage special. And we believe that in a relationship this intimate, it is vital.
Upon the speaker from Team 1 from 11A to present their first argument.
Because when we first think about arranged marriages, it doesn't sound romantic. However, it is the key to making the relationship work. In love marriages, physical attraction is important, but people must be able to distinguish lust from love. Strong physical attraction is very dangerous. It can be blinding. But in arranged marriages, the commitment is very strong. They get married knowing they won't leave. So when times are harder, if they face injury or trauma, they don't run away. It brings them closer. Psychologists have repeatedly studied the phenomenon of love in relationships. It's established that it takes an average relationship up to 18 to 24 months to get over the honeymoon or infatuation phase. After this phase, the people concerned start to see each other more realistically and not put each other on a pedestal. In short, infatuation reduces. At this point, if you are still attracted to your partner, it's likely that what you have for each other is love and not just lust or attraction. Arranged marriages in India are decided on by families. So they tend to last longer because they are not subject to risks of decision made in infatuation. Anthropologist Helen Fisher said they were a partner who is from their social background, same level of general level of intelligence and education. Deep family connections, the kind of things that create a stable marriage. According to research, those in arranged marriages or who have had their partner chosen for them by a parent or matchmaker tend to feel more in love as time goes, whereas those in love marriages feel less love over time.
First of all, I would like to correct the fact stated by the Team 1 in the opening statement about the divorce rate. The divorce rate is actually 6%, so please note that. I would like to start off by saying that I'll define the topic for you first. Love marriages are a union of two people based upon mutual love, affection, understanding, commitment, respect, and attraction. Arranged marriages, however, are the bride and groom decided by a third party rather than each other. Marriage is a union between two people, and they're spending the rest of their lives together. Why I say that love marriages are better is based on one simple four-letter word: L-O-V-E, love. Love is the affection that you can only have for your partner or your loved one, and it's going to last for a long time because that love in love marriages is mutual. Marriages should be based on love, on love, whether it is temporary or permanent. In arranged marriages, however, two people are basically forced into the marriage. In love marriages, you get to fall in love first before getting married, so you know the likes and dislikes of the person, you know the behavior of the person. And that feeling that you get from falling in love is like no other feeling. And that feeling is what you're enjoying for the rest of your life.
Marriage formed on the basis of love gives the partner a reason to love each other. If they love each other, they will be committed to each other and be happy to work through the challenges of marriage. When two people in love agree to get married because they love one another, walking down the aisle or across some flower-filled meadow is just the beginning. And the ones uttering the words "I do" are aware of that. It is easy to throw in the high divorce count in an argument, but is the opposition looking at the bigger picture? What about the individuals who are arranged and are not happy with their life? What if they're just there because they must accept that their own opinion doesn't matter?
I would like to first share a statement from Mrs. Anupama Pradip to make my own decisions and rely on my parents to make the right choice for me. And that helped me to understand the person properly because I had family support. Good morning.
judges, and ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, not doubting our worthy opposition's points, but the facts speak for themselves. The fact remains arranged marriages last longer than love marriages. One such study from UNICEF clearly shows that 4% of arranged marriages end in divorce, while a staggering 55% of love marriages end in divorce. Now, of course, this statistic was from 2012, but not much has changed since then. Therefore, the evidence is concrete. Now, coming back to those staggering divorce rates, a study by the American Sociology Review showed that 50% of American children will witness the breakup of their parents at least once in their life. Now, this clearly shows that even a well-developed country has such an issue. When there is divorce, children are scarred mentally and emotionally. Knowing that love marriages fail more often than arranged marriages, children of love marriages suffer the most. And what does this lead to? A weak base, cases of bullying, and even increased crime rates. I'd like to leave you all with an image. Think of a child, alone and hopeless, with his figures of strength, his parents, separated, all because they didn't consider themselves well enough before marriage. You see, the true victims are the children who are caught in the crossfire of this deadly affair. So why jeopardize a life for just two people's selfish needs?
When asked what qualities are important in a good marriage or marriage partner, people usually respond with answers such as selflessness, helpfulness, romance, forgiveness, compatibility in terms of humor, value, and intellect. However, none of these factors are looked upon when considering a typical arranged marriage. Instead, factors that go into this arrangement include the family's reputation, wealth, vocation, height, weight, age, and skin tone. As you can see, none of this really describes the compatibility that usually makes a marriage successful and happy. Therefore, while marriages may remain together instead of divorce, it increases the chances of unhappy marriages and unfulfilled. How many of you would like to be in marital harmony with the person you love, respect, appreciate, and would like to see them every day for the rest of your life? You may show off your hands. There you have it, judges. The majority is in our view.
Marriage encompasses many promises, and we believe at that time to know and love someone, the trust is hardwired into our brains. Meeting someone one day and getting engaged the next is outright foolish. That's a huge risk because you're putting your life in the hands of your family or some professional matchmaker. Think about it. If the marriage doesn't turn out well, will it be easy? It will be easy for someone to blame the family and not take responsibility for being a bad partner and learning from it. That's where love comes into the picture. Love takes effort, time, and selflessness. And every time something goes out of hand, the pair will learn how to work things out and, more importantly, shape themselves into better people for each other.
Kingdoms have proposed the general idea of arranged marriage not only to form unbreakable bonds but also important alliances. Now, arranged marriage has evolved into something that joins two families and strengthens the roots of an ever-growing family tree. One thing that the entire process of arranged marriage inculcates is the concept of respect. Respect, in the sense, respect between the elders of each family. When our elders take part in a uniform decision that shapes our future, it portrays respect. Respect not only between the two families, but also respect within the family. Respect is the bedrock of our culture. Once we negate our culture, we are in danger of losing the essence of our character. But also at the end of the day, our elders are always the wisest. They have more experience than we have and hence are completely justified in making our decisions for us. Although it might not be applicable in this case, but logically, our parents have been making our decisions for us from the day we were born. Therefore, it isn't radically abnormal for them to do so now. Our family has always been our backbone, helping us stand up when we did not know how to, helping us to maintain a straight posture so that we do not stumble, so we don't fall,
when two individuals are backed by their family, they aren't two individuals anymore. They are always supported by their family. And having support, having help is always a good thing. Since it's a connection between two families, even if there's an interruption between the husband and wife, they always have their families to lean on, depend on, and rely on. Parents don't only look at the emotional aspects when choosing the partners for their sons or daughters, they also look at the financial capabilities to ensure that the partner is able to take care of his or her partner. This is important for not only a healthy relationship, but also a healthy life.
To be in a marriage with someone means you and your significant other are together as a teammate for the rest of your life, till death do you part. If one is mature enough to make the decision to get married, they must be mature enough to make the decision to choose a teammate for the rest of their life. Love marriage offers the union of two people irrespective of culture, religion, and background, and thus allows the freedom of choosing your teammate. What the opposition fails to understand is that the goal of marriage is a life choice, and leaving it in the hands of another can lead to a colorless and sometimes love-lacking union. Love marriage offers the freedom to choose your partner and brings peace within relationships in the long run, as you yourself choose this person as your teammate and you feel entitled to work together and put in as much effort to win the game, that is, to lead a successful marriage life. What about the individuals who are arranged and not happy with their life? What if they're forced to live on, act like nothing is wrong with the way things are, just because they must accept that their opinion doesn't matter in this case? Sure, love marriages can be considered sometimes far from perfection, but do you believe this is better? Subjecting people to unfulfilling relationships, forcing them to live to their family's best wishes and completely disregarding personal happiness? Think about that.
When you're in a love marriage, you're with your partner, you're with your to-be partner for a good 1 or 2 years. You know his or her likes and dislikes, his or her behavior, how he or she responds to certain actions. In an arranged marriage, however, the couple takes a good 1 or 2 years just to understand their significant other. They need to, however, in a love marriage, you're comfortable to start a family with someone who you know for an excessive amount of time. You're able to attain that comfortability.
Now there will be a 3-minute break for both teams to prepare their counter arguments. I now call upon the speaker from Team 1 from 11A to present their counter argument.
Firstly, we thank our worthy opposition for every single point they've made. We also thank them for correcting us that it's not 4% but 6%. But ladies and gentlemen, that clearly states that the opposition has acknowledged that 94% of arranged marriages are successful. Secondly, my team was slightly shocked during our discussion as to how stereotypical is the opposition. What do you mean that an arranged marriage only has to be forced? This is the 21st century, boys and girls. At this time, an arranged marriage is just a marriage where there is consent from your family, from your friends. On top of that, there was another point that was made. It spoke about how arranged marriages only require they look at your family's wealth, your family's reputation, so on and so forth. Might I remind you that this is the real world and not a soap opera on Hum TV? Boys and girls, every single point that has been made has been right. Nevertheless, as my teammate Farhan stated, the facts speak for themselves. Facts don't lie. Arranged marriages have a longer success rate.
Adding on to my to Amazon points, the opposition kept exaggerating on the point that in arranged marriages, in love marriages, people feel true love for each other. But as correctly stated by my teammate Sunus, in arranged marriages, there is time for each other to make sure that what they feel for each other is love, crystal clear love, and not lust or just any attraction. Therefore, our team firmly believes that arranged marriages the advantages of arranged marriages outweigh the disadvantages of arranged.
Looking at examples, the opposition spoke about that it takes long time duration for an arranged marriage participants to understand each other, 1 or 2 years. Let me give an example of one of the most popular couples in the world, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. A decade they were together. A decade they were together understanding each other. Tell me, is a decade not long? Is that decade not long in our puny life? Ladies and gentlemen, they were married only for 2 years. I now quote Mrs. Manuela, my class teacher, happily married for 17 years. She had a love marriage as well. She said it was very good. They saw and understood each other before wanting to marry, cleared obstacles before marriage. These clearly state that this brings out the point that while it was a love marriage, doesn't mean that it has to be forced. It's actually something that was done with consent. So ladies and gentlemen, an arranged marriage is also a love marriage. But a love marriage is not necessarily an arranged marriage. Mrs. Bina Mikado stated, "We are very compatible. Took a little time to understand, the 1 or 2 years as they stated. We're still going strong, able to compromise each other, and here we are, ladies and gentlemen, married for 12 years. Thank you.
Team 2, please begin.
Now we're going to address the team one's arguments.
Stripped away from the freedom of choosing your own partner. Alright, that might work. But stripped away from the ability to escape unhealthy relationships and stuck with someone suppressing you. When you're in an arranged marriage, you're also following the stigma that divorce is wrong and that it's not right. But sometimes people can make mistakes. And I'm not saying that making mistakes is wrong, but being in a relationship that has been chosen by someone else can lead to detrimental relationships and hardwired emotions.
That's why people always look at divorce in a negative connotation, but that's not always the case. Divorce shows change. Divorce shows that people are ready for change. Divorce shows that we're all human, we make mistakes, and we're ready to learn from them. That's why in most cases, divorce is a mutual thing. And divorce is more realistic because it shows that love is not perfect and love takes time and effort and selflessness. So if it doesn't work out, having enough courage to make that change takes a lot of courage, and I respect that.
Also, we noticed that the opposition kept saying that love marriage, when you do a love marriage, your families may go against you. That's not the case. Love marriage doesn't mean you go against what your family wants or wishes for you. Love marriage is if you have a commitment with your partner and you're willing to spend the rest of your life with them.
So, as a kid, your parents always picked on your clothes for you. But when you grow up, you realize that you prefer to pick on your own taste. And I think that shows that as we're growing, we need to be able to make our own decisions. And if we are not able to make a vital decision like choosing who to marry, how do you expect to live a prosperous life?
I would like to address the financial stability part mentioned by my opponent. Of course, that's really good. It's a really good point. But I just like to say, couples in successful love marriages have mastered the skill of financial harmony amongst themselves. Marriage commitment and healthy communications are maintained when couples have set guidelines and boundaries for each other because they have that sort of understanding between them. Understanding the value that each partner places on money and respecting that both partners will have equal rights and responsibilities with control of finances will strengthen the marriage bonds. Marriage is fragile. Financial harmony is critical for validation, freedom, power, respect, security, and happiness. Couples must realize the great importance that money has in their relationships and learn to define guidelines for money management, and this happens in most cases.
Wait for both the teams to prepare their rebuttals.
is true. But they said divorce is change. Weren't these the same people who 15 minutes ago said that marriage is a lifelong commitment? So if it is a lifelong commitment, what is the need for change? Tell me, if divorce is okay, then is scarring the parent's child, making a child witness the separation of their parent, that's fine? Is this seriously what it has come to?
Ladies and gentlemen, how many of you want a happy marriage?
Same question they asked and we see the same response, a majority, clear majority. Ladies and gentlemen, but when you do have that happily married life, would you not want the consent of your parents? The people who brought you in this world, the people who paid for your education, the people who have throughout always been there for you. When you fell down, they picked you up. When you were crying, they were always there for you. Tell me, how many of you all would want their consent in that marriage? Raise your hands, please. To not break ties with them, to always make sure that they are there in their lives. A clear majority. So in that case, would you also not want to love the person whom you are marrying but have your parents' consent? All those who would want that, raise your hands, please. That is an arranged marriage, ladies and gentlemen. The second point that was stated was regarding wealth. We did not speak about wealth in an arranged marriage or financial stability. Rather, we spoke about the stereotypical idea that the opposition came up with when they stated that an arranged marriage only happens when the people who are finalizing the marriage look at the other person's reputation and financial stability. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not the case. In every religion, every moral, whether atheist, Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, a parent for their child wants a partner who is financially stable, of course, but that's for their child's comfortable life, but also a person who is good at heart, who has good values. So at this point, we leave our rebuttal here. And we hope that you take the right decision when it comes to
Let me really state my point of love marriage to you guys. Love marriage. Two people meet each other, they fall in love, it goes on for a good 1 or 2 years, they decide that they want to get married, they want to spend their lives together, they go to their parents, they talk to their parents approve of what's happening, and then they get married. It doesn't happen that their parents don't approve, they run away, they go into a far country in Europe and then they get married. This doesn't happen, right? It is with parents' consent. And that parent has brought their children up in a way that they can trust their children that my child will make the right decision.
Arranged marriages are most common in places like Middle East, South Asia, and East Asia. Also, in these areas, divorce is shamed upon, is generally looked down upon and not considered a cultural norm or even socially acceptable. Indeed, religion and culture play the biggest role in marriage life. Divorce is usually an option. Divorce is not usually an option. Therefore, it makes sense that divorce rate in arranged marriages alone. Also, many of these cultures place a high emphasis on religion. Religion prohibits or severely frown upon divorce. So again, couples don't stay married because they want to be married, but because it's a better option than divorcing, which carries with its plethora of negative social repercussions.
One of the opposition also mentioned that marriage is done in kingdoms to strengthen the bond. That's not true. Marriages in kingdoms are done to strengthen the empire, not to strengthen the bond, without considering the love between the two partners. We've all seen fairy tales where the princess is married to someone in the blood, with royal blood, just to continue the legacy, for the sake of the family.
In a survey, when asked about what qualities are important in a marriage or in a marriage partner, most people answer the responses such as selflessness, committed partners, acceptance, tolerance, compatibility in terms of humor, intellect, values, forgiveness, helpfulness, and romance. However, none of these factors are considered when determining an arranged marriage. Typically, instead, factors that go into arrangement are notable include the family's reputation, vocation, health, wealth, religion, horoscope, diet, age, and language. I would just like to quote, as we've seen so many quotes on this side, I would like to quote my father. He said he's been married for 17 years and he was 32 and my mother was 21 at that time. So it was an arranged marriage, and he said, marry the woman you love, but talk to me first.
Students, please maintain decorum. Now we'll be moving on to questions. We'll be entertaining 3 questions before the closing statements from the audience. So all those who have questions, please raise your hands now. I repeat, all those who have questions, please raise your hands now. I know, I can understand. Rehan.
It's to address Team 2. How would Team 2 comment on the fact that children are affected emotionally and psychologically by the fact that the high divorce rates are due to love marriage?
Anyone else? We would entertain 2 more questions. Yes, Rehan.
Throughout the session, I heard you talk and say that if you marry the right person, it's important to make sure that you don't have a divorce, the kids are happy. Are you marrying someone just so that the kids are happy? It's not important that you are happy at the same time. And you're not just marrying someone so that your kids feel happy, right? You want to feel safe around the person, comfortable around the person. You don't just go around and say, I want to marry you because we have 3 kids and they'll be happy.
Now we would be liking a girl to ask a question to any of you. Girls. Okay,
Team 2 in the early part, the beginning of this debate stated that love marriages have a higher success rate. Has it been to head or study the facts, the statistics, that it all goes in favor of the arranged marriages? Arranged marriages have a higher success rate.
Firstly, we just want to acknowledge and thank the audience for such an excellent question. We'll begin with the answer now.
First to address the question, Snehami, we definitely do not believe that marriage is for children. Pretty kids are just an option. But if you choose to have them, you are liable for your own children. Do not go around making your reckless decisions and expect that your children will just go along with any decision that you make. What will children do if their pillars of strength, their parents and their role models are split and not there with them? Naturally, their base will be shattered.
I would really like to thank the audience for posing this question. It's really going to reinstate our point. When you talked about how children are impacted in love marriages, like in divorce, how children are impacted, you're considering the cons of love marriages, or why are you not considering the cons of arranged marriages, where we have seen arranged marriages where couples don't work out well together. You have loud fights in your home, you have domestic violence, you have abusive language. Don't you think kids are growing up in that environment too? And if you're considering the pros of love marriage, don't you think that the children will grow when they're seeing their parents with such love and affection and respect for each other? Don't you think that will impact the child in a positive manner?
And to address that point as well, if you talk about divorce and what goes into it, the child is always the main point of all the different court hearings they have after the decision is made. They always think about who deserves the child, who has better who has the ability to take care of that child, how they're doing financially. There's so much that goes into the children, so it's not right to say that divorce is always bad for the child.
Also, Rehan, you talked about how a child is affected mentally because their parents have quarrels. As Hasnain said, it happens in an arranged marriage too. But look at it. People just don't bring kids into the world without thinking about any other factor. They think about it well before they know that yes, we are going to raise a child, we are going to raise this human, and we're going to bring him up in a way where he's going to be a good person. Obviously, if there are problems in the family, whether arranged or love, they would not do something like that and just bring up a child and have them suffer through anything that's happening in the house.
And to your question from the audience, I would just like to say that we never made a statement that successful love marriages are more successful. In fact, we came in and we corrected the opposition, saying that 6% of the arranged marriages end in divorce, and over that they said that 94% are successful arranged marriages. And I would like to point out to you that we said that when a survey was filed, when asked what qualities are important in good marriage or marriage partner, most people answered with responses such as etc., etc. I would not like to waste time on that again. So I would just like to say that this is what a survey said, what compiles a good marriage. We never said that love marriages are more successful. Thank you.
I now invite the members from Team 1 to present their closing statement.
Once again, let me begin by acknowledging the opposition for correcting the 4% to 6% divorce rates of arranged marriages, showing that 94% are successful, compared to the 55% divorce rate of love marriages. Secondly, boys and girls, I want to graciously thank the opposition for reaffirming our point when they gave the passionate speech about love marriages being stereotypically running off to Europe. While the opposition did speak about how a love marriage is when you marry the person you love, but you also have your parents' consent. As earlier stated by my team, it is actually an arranged marriage because it does have the consent. Again, I will repeat my point by stating an arranged marriage is also a love marriage, can also be a love marriage, but the same cannot be said for a love marriage. Furthermore, let us talk about percentage and statistics once again. The survey that was mentioned by the opposition, we sincerely do hope that the source of that survey is disclosed soon. That would be extremely helpful compared to our statistics which we have considered from UNICEF and the Human Rights Council, both recognized bodies of the United Nations. We have presented our points. We have brought forward the benefits of arranged marriages and love marriages. The opposition, when answering to the audience, asked them, why are you not considering the cons of an arranged marriage? Why only a love marriage? Our answer is because simply the benefits of an arranged marriage outweigh the benefits of a love marriage. At this point, our team will rest our case with this concluding statement. This is applicable for both types of marriages. As one and all, they are the same. A great marriage is not when the perfect couple comes together, ladies and gentlemen. It is when an imperfect couple learns to enjoy the differences.
Team 1.
I would like to make a statement in this concluding statement by saying that basing the successfulness of marriages on a divorce rate is completely biased. You have to consider other factors as well.
Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt ended in divorce because it was an unhealthy relationship. But have you forgotten? Paris and Helen, Cleopatra and Mark Antony, Henry II, Rosamund Clifford, Dante and Beatrice, Bonnie and Clyde. They're all successful and dynamic couples. Relationships centered around love and not just how much money the bride's family can offer or how financially stable they are. There are arranged marriages where the couple barely knows each other and meet for the first time on their wedding day. A quote from the Bible: "Love is kind. Love is not envy. Love does not boast. Love is not proud. Love is not rude. Love is not self-seeking. Love is not easily angered. It does not keep record of wrong. It is not delight in evil. It rejoices with the truth. Always protects. Always trusts. Always hopes. Always perseveres, and never fails." How do you do this with someone you meet for the first time on their wedding day? Thank you.
I would just like to finish this debate off here by saying that love marriages and arranged marriages are not the same. I've heard this twice from the opposition saying that both arranged marriage is a love marriage and arranged marriage is the same. No. We as a whole team, and I'm sure you guys also know, till date, couples in India or Pakistan where the wife, where the spouse, the bride in the marriage is married at the age of 18 or 19 and she's being forced to treat as a housewife. That's not a love marriage, that's an arranged marriage. And it still happens till date. It happened 15 years ago, it happened 30 years ago, it still happens. So we have to change this arranged marriage mindset by keeping everyone happy.
Thank you both teams for your arguments. Now I call upon Mr. Suzanne Rogers and Mr. Lovejoy Pinto to announce the results.
Unanimously, we both have come to more or less the same scores. So, team 2, if I'm not wrong, team 1, yeah, you guys have.
You're the winners.
Okay, now there's three. Is it okay if we do a little?
Please. Yeah, pretty much unanimous. Yeah, the scores when you add up, they're just, I think it's the same for team 1 and just a 1 point difference for team 2. And we did look at each other's papers. Yeah, a little bit of feedback. This is, it's an interesting topic, but it's also very hard because of the nature of love. It's abstract. It's hard to find empirical evidence for it. And naturally, the team that would be supporting arranged marriages might have more evidence because you have to make it stronger as a point when one has to argue, right? So we found that there is more citations, more resource information being resourced from team 1 as compared to team 2. And that's one of the biggest premises that we look at when we conduct a debate. Opinions are opinions, they're broad, they're abstract, they're very subjective, they can also be very personal. But when you have to put yourself into another person's shoes, and when you have to present an argument from another person's point of view, which is what a debate is all about, then making it logical, tying it into real life situations and relevant exemplars becomes very, very, very critical. And I think that's what Team 1 displayed, and that's the reason why you all won. So good job, everybody. Maybe an area of thought, get into the understanding of the brain, get into the understanding of, the physiology of what makes people come together and share what we put down as a symbol of a heart, but there might be some more evidence out there. Maybe you'll just need to research that just a little bit.
Concepts of love language.
Yes. 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 And also the citations.
Yes, very much.
When you cite a source, when you give an example from a source, cite it. That's very, very good.
I always say this, raise your arguments on the shoulders of giants. So when there's a research or something that's not which is being done or something is scientific that should do, it always adds value.
Always.
But the passion also.
Yeah, absolutely. Passionate speakers. Good job.
Congratulations to 11A on winning this second debate session. Now I conclude by saying we have now come to the end of our second debate, which have been wonderful. We are looking forward to our next debate session that is scheduled for Thursday. A round of applause for everyone.